thinkers, gamers, and traders, welcome to JBeanTV, the prediction arena, where foresight meets fire. Let's dive in.
Big shout out to JBean for setting the stage. Thank you, legend. And huge love to Doug the Wizard, the brains behind our market magic. Welcome back to day 3 of challenge number 12, the last day to lock in predictions before tomorrow's grand finale. Here's tonight's flow. We're going to do a predictor pulse check. We'll take the room's temperature and see what you're seeing on the charts. Then the Wizard's going to do a training session. Doug will walk us through tonight's focus so your AI and your instincts are dialed in. Then we'll do a leaderboard peek. We'll see who's on top and who's within striking distance to take today's victory. Grab your tickets, cue your AI, and get those high-low close calls ready because your final entries start now. Let's play smart, learn fast, and have some fun. This is JBeanTV Prediction Game Show. Let's go. Hey, Doug, how are you doing tonight?
Great, BitCaz. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Really looking forward to digging in and really understanding this great new tool that you've created for us predictors.
Well, I'm excited about it because part of the process that you introduce each night or a couple of the nights of the week, we talk about, diving in with the predictors, seeing what they're thinking, and kind of getting a feel for where they're at in the market. And I think a lot of times the process of knowing what you're thinking and why you're thinking it isn't all that easy, BitCaz.
Correct. You are correct. Yes.
Yeah. So I think what we've developed is going to really help people with that process. And it's also going to be a training tool. So it's not just a prediction tool to help them predict. It's going to be a training tool to help them understand why they're predicting. And it pulls back the curtain on many, many layers to help them see what other people don't see. So we're going to have fun with that tonight. So I want to kind of talk to you guys and see where you are on your predictions going into tomorrow. I'm going to turn off a few of my indicators here for a minute. And I just want to pick on, pick your minds a little bit and see what you're thinking. So I'm going to do a quick little survey. Let's do this. How many people predicted tomorrow to be an up? Put that in the chat. Give me a 1 if you predicted up, 2 if you predicted continuation down. All right, so we have a number of people that is anybody predicting up at all? No, everybody so far is predicting down. Okay. Perfect. Oh, we got 1 up. Icy. I knew I could count on Icy. All right. So that's a good one. So Icy, can I start with you? Are you free that we can talk for a second, buddy?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Tell me why you predicted up and what is your high?
My high was not too much higher. Let me go look at my quick predict for today. So I'm only predicting to go about to 113. It's not too much higher than it's at, but I feel we've hit the bottom here. The Fed is done what it's going to do, and the market reacted to it already before today even hit. So there was a lot of activity up higher in today's candle, and the 2 previous candles were at the top. So
You're looking at those as barriers, or what are you looking at those as?
I'm looking at activity, that there's
Okay.
activity. So at those prices, activity. So I think it's going to reach back up to that activity.
Okay. So I put you here at about 113, 100. That would be in about this range, just kind of where you were at.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so for the ones that did the downs, well, let's ask this question. Everybody that did a down, how many of you had your high for maybe a wick high close to the 113? I got 111,800. Okay, and then I've got a 112,075. Boy, Lovejoy and Beanie of Truth are real close. Where is BitCaz? Let's see where she's at. She's at 111,480. Boy, look at you guys. Okay, so you guys are all stacked right there together. Let me see what you're seeing. What kind of had this price action through here? Okay, we're below this high volume. Drew, you had your high at 110 range. Okay, let me put that in. 110. Let's say 110, 300. Let's just put you somewhere in that middle range here. Ah, wow, you're really thinking the market's going to go down, Drew. So you think that we're going to kind of hold near the open and go down. So let me ask you guys, how many of you use the a range to pick your, give me a one if you used a range to pick your predictions, or if you're trying to shoot for a barrier. Two for a barrier, one for the range. Or three if you just guessed. Oh, look, she did three. I guessed. Fair enough. You know, fair enough. Okay. All right. DDOG, he did a 4, so he's blaming his AI. So I'm going to go through now the command set, guys, for you. And I'm going to show you what we can know now with AI, because I think a lot of this, and if I were to ask, you guys are, A was 4 was for AI. Perfect. If I were to ask you guys, a lot of you are going to say, I leaned on my AI, I predicted with my AI, or I picked a barrier or a range, or I guessed and I saw a lot of action in an area and I thought that looked good. But can we know more than that? And we can know a lot more than that. Okay. So I'm going to delete all these lines now, and we're going to kind of go through what the tool will do now for you. Okay, what I did is I took a screenshot of all of the volume before we got on, before 5 o'clock. So I got all of the data about 15 minutes before 5. So this is all of the indicator data right before 5. We're going to do it both ways. We're going to do it now after 5, and we'll do it with the data before 5. All right, and then I'm going to open this up. All right, here's what we have. I have a PDF now of the rule set for AI. All I'm going to do here, and you guys can see, I tested this thing many times today, getting the rule set right and getting the data, so that it would do the data correctly. And so I'm going to start a brand new chat. Okay, I'm going to just take and drop the rule set in. Okay, it puts it in the bottom. I'm going to go to trading view. I'm going to click here. I'm going to go right click. I'm going to go right click. Come on, Doug. Right click and copy. Okay. Going to go back to cloud. And I'm going to paste all of that in up here. That's what I would normally do if I was doing it right before 5 o'clock. I'm going to delete this for a second because we've already passed 5 o'clock, and this is the data right before 5 o'clock. So I'm going to just take and copy this, just like what I just did. And we'll do that also, but you can see I did this a little bit before. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it in here. And now I have it. Now this would be similar to what BitCaz talked about last night, where she can't do all the indicators at the same time. And so she's going to do, turn on some indicators, copy and paste it into like Notepad. I like Notepad++ because it keeps it organized very cleanly, and put it in here. then all I'm going to do is hit an up arrow, okay? And it's going to do some thinking. Now, it's going to break this up into multiple sections for us. We're going to start with the first section, and it's doing some basic analysis for you, okay? It's going to talk about the bias and how it feels about the bias, okay? But there's going to be a lot of clarity to biases, because one of the things that you have to learn, okay, is the difference between what people want the market to do and what the market is doing. So when we look at the futures contracts that we're pulling into our indicator, we're pulling in the buy contracts and the sell contracts, the long and the shorts, and we're analyzing those as intent. Now, there can be a lot of buyers coming in and buying, and we can see those buyers getting stuck. And if you look at this one right here, I think it's this one that I was on. It actually talked about, and I'll see if I can find it real quick. It talked about the retail. It could actually see the retail buyers coming in, and it could see the institutional money trapping it. Okay, and that's going to be in this conversation that you read, and this is the short part of the conversation. So let me go back here, and so you'll read things, and that's important to know. It's important to know what the smart money's doing and what they call the dumb money or the retail money is doing, which are usually opposite, right? But the smart money doesn't necessarily turn the market around immediately. Okay. So this conversation, this first part of this conversation is really, really important to kind of help you frame what your prediction is going to be. And this is giving you all of the initial data, okay? And if you don't understand something, there'll be lessons after this that you can learn what this stuff means, or you can paste it into AI and say, "Can you explain this to me?" But if you're trying to get your prediction done quickly, you're just going to try to pick on certain things, like here's the conviction strength is strong, right? And there's a bullish uh, piece here, and it's going against this down biased, right? That is really made up of the retail market. And when we start getting into the friction index and things like that, that's all made up of the futures market, and it's made up of real contracts. So this is seeing contracts that are being placed. There are people that are believing that the market is going to go back up, okay? And it has a fairly high score, okay? But what we're looking for is long confidence and short confidence. This is in the contracts, not in the current volume that's in the spot market that we're trading in, okay? But all of this begins to help us understand, should we do a big range or a small range? Are all of these things in agreement or not in agreement? And down here, it just gives you a little teaching note. This kind of summarizes this initial part for you, okay? And it tells you this creates two scenarios. Either smart money is absorbing into the conviction, bear short term, or the base is being built for a powerful spring once the weak hands are shaken out. Okay, and the only way that it knows this stuff is because of the indicators we built. And the indicators can really see behind the curtain and give you really, really solid information where you're not guessing, oh, I'm just picking this. Now you can pick and understand maybe why you're picking it. But then there's more help for you as I go through this. the one thing that you want to do is start with prediction only. Don't do a summary and don't do a full teaching yet. Start with the prediction only. There'll be an option for you after you get this to do one of these two, okay? So I'm just going to put in a number 1, okay? And I'm going to hit enter. This is very much like an AI agent walking you through the process, okay? Going to hit 1. And then it's going to go through its process here. Okay, and it's doing some analysis, and all of this, small, medium, large, is based on these boxes right here. Okay, it's based on our JBean Price Discovery Navigator, and these boxes are based on the current market movement. So when it says small, right? Small up, it's talking about this. Small down, it's talking about this. Medium up, this range. Medium down, this range. Large, large, right? And so it's looking at that. And I want you guys to see, when you look at this, I want you to look at the difference. If the market were to continue down, the large box on the top, right? This is basically 1.33% from the start down here. It's 3.08%, okay? I'm going to measure this the same way. If I measure the bottom up, which I wouldn't do coming from this way down, but I just want you to see, this is 2.33. It's much larger box, okay? From the bottom back to the center here is 3.85. The market, you always measure coming down though. You do it this way, but I wanted the numbers to match for you. 3.73 coming down, okay? But all of the numbers in here are based on these. So when it says small, medium, large, volatile, extreme, you can pick these. And it says, which body range do you want for tomorrow on a 1-day candle? Okay, I'm going to go with a small body range, for example. I'm just going to say small, okay? And spell it correctly. No, I'm going to do a medium. I can copy this and I can do a medium. Okay, I hit enter. Okay, now it's going out and calculating. Okay, now it's going to ask me, what do I think my wicks are going to be? Okay, I can go back and I can analyze a market, how big the wicks have been if I want, right? But it's also using, and I don't have it on here, but it would be using our wick indicator also for wick sizes. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go with a standard wick, okay, 0.25 to 0.50. And I'm just going to say standard here. Then I'm going to hit the plus key because I have 2 questions here to answer. Also, please choose wick sequence. I'm thinking that the market is going to go down first, then create a body. And this is what I selected earlier today. And this is exactly what it did because it had down pressure. And then I thought it was going to bounce back up some, a little bit like Icy did. Okay. So I answered these 2 questions. I just put a little plus key between them and I hit enter. Okay. All right. Now I have the ability to override things with barriers if I want. I won't go in, I won't do that right now, but it's given me an idea of where the barriers are, okay? It's also given me the idea of where today's high might be, right? So it's given me some information. It's given me the 5 level top volume ceiling. It's telling me where that is, right around where Icy's price was at, okay? It's giving me the bottom numbers and it's saying if I want to change it, here's how I would do it. I would actually do this exact format. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say yes, add to barriers, or no. I'm going to say no, I don't. I don't want to do that. Uh, you know, if I wanted to put in the work and the time to really dig into this. This might be something I want to do. But right now, I trust my indicators and I trust my barriers and I trust how AI is reading those indicators and barriers. So I don't feel like I have a need to do this section. So I say no. Okay. But that's a lot of power and a lot of detail. So no override on barriers. So here's the confidence. Now, right now it has a 68% confidence in what it's going to predict. Okay. And the question is, do I want to override that confidence level? And I'm going to say no. I could, which might change its factors a little bit, but I think it's reading those volume indicators correctly. It's reading the futures contracts correctly. So I'm going to leave that alone and say no to that. But I have the power to override it if I want. Okay. All right. So here we go. Okay, so validation gate. This is the summary of everything. Does everything look correct? Okay. Yep. I don't want to modify any of the parameters. I could modify the body range. I could do things, but I don't want to do anything at this point. I'm just going to say yes to this. It all is correct based on what I told it to do. And it gives me that forecast, okay? So this gives me the forecast. Now it's going to give me more information. It's going to tell me what the rationale was. One of the questions I asked, what were you guys thinking? Now this is its forecast, okay? This is AI's forecast. Okay, now I come down here, it's asking me what my forecast would be. Now I'm going to do this so that you guys can see it, okay? I'm going to come here, I'm going to paste this in, okay? And I'm going to purposely choose, let me take a screenshot of this. I'm going to choose different numbers than it did so you can see the thought process that we go through together. This is a true human and AI collaboration. I'm going to put in numbers. It's going to ask me about those numbers. I'm going to see what it says. And then AI and myself, being the human, are going to come to an agreement on what the prediction should be. Okay. So I'm going to go here. I took a screenshot of it and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to say, and I'm going to put the volume in here. I think we're going to go up a little bit. I think we might hit towards the bottom of this volume bar here in this large. I'm going to say, just out of argument here, 112, 131. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to put in my high here. I'm going to say, now I think it's going to be 112, 313, whatever it is, right? I got that. 112, 255, 313. That's all good. I think that's a good range. Okay. My low, I think my low could be right where it is now. I didn't think the low would go very low, but I'm going to pick a volume bar just for the sake of it in this candle here. I'm going to pick the green. Okay. And look at, that's exactly where that wick went to. Amazing. 109, 128. So I'm going to do my low at 109. Now I don't have to do this. I can just accept what AI does. I can say, no, what you did is good. In fact, I'm going to choose its close. I agree with its close. I'm just going to say, I agree with your close. Okay. And I'm going to hit enter here. Okay. And it's going to do the human AI comparison. Okay. It's going to give me my range and its range, and it's going to tell me the differences, what I chose versus what it chose, right? And it's going to walk me through your 109, 128 is more conservative, staying closer to today's low. Okay. It's telling me what I'm doing so I can think about it and say, oh yeah, no, that's really what I wanted to do, or oh no, that's a mistake, and I really should have been thinking something different. AI's number is 107. I'm all the way up at 109. Okay, what does it know that I don't know? Or what do I know that it doesn't know? And which one do I like, or which one do I believe? Right? And it walks me through each one of these, so I have a complete thought process about what I'm doing. Now, anytime you get initials further up, there's always the definition of the initials. You know, when you're reading through it, you'll get all of those. Made sure, in fact, I may force it to give it to you every time. That may be a modification I make to it. Then it talks about the high projection recommendation. Keep mine. This is mine. Okay. Adjusted or accept AI. The adjusted blends the AI in mine. So, okay, AI might be right. I may be right. I just don't know. So I'm going to just say, us meet in the middle. Okay. Sounds like a country song. All right. I'm going to hit adjusted, and it's going to go out and give me the adjusted. So it gives me, oh no, sorry. Gives me here's what I got to choose. Modify individual levels, blend average ranges, or set custom levels. I'm just going to say blend average ranges, or I can say number 2. I think I can say number 2. Let's see. And I'm going to do it right. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to blend average ranges, number 2. Let's see if it does it this way. Blend average ranges. I think I can say number 2 and it would do it also. I've tested that, but let's do it this. Okay. So now it gives me my high, my low, and my close. Okay. Here we are. 12,757, 12,757. So here's my prediction. Okay. That's what I came through. Now I've gone through all of this, and I really want to understand what I did and why I did it. I've already got my predictions. So now that's all I got to do for my predictions. I'm done, ready to go on. But I want to learn. I can come here and I can say, generate a full teaching model of what we just did. Okay. Or generate me a summary teaching model of what we just did. And it will go through and it will do that. And what it does is what I showed you last night. I won't force this one to do it, but I'll go down here and you'll see I went through this prediction just like what we just did. It has its teaching notes, right? Okay. Medium body. I did all of this stuff just like what we just did, kind of. Okay. And I got down here at the bottom and I said, right down here, come on. Gives you so much information, guys. There's so much that you can learn. Let's see, I did a blended forecast, just like what we just did. Okay. I scroll down and I said, give me a full teaching model. Okay. And then it writes you basically a book on what you can learn, the conviction paradox, and why bulls are fully committed, not wavering or scaling out. This is important. This means the long contracts are committed to cost averaging in or buying in, but the bulls are committed even though the bears keep selling into them. What are the bulls doing? They're accumulating all of the bears. And you can read about that. Okay, you can read all through tomorrow's behavior, and what it's saying and what the indicators are saying. And it goes on and on and on. It even gets into my favorite topic, which is volume spread analysis, VSA. Tells you about that and then what the indicators are saying about that. Okay. Guys, just doing this and on a consistent basis, reading this and understanding it will change your life in terms of knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I love, yeah, it's just unbelievable. So, and I think this goes on for quite a bit. Here, I'll scroll on down. Unbelievable. I just looking at this and I'm absolutely in love with what we've built. I am in love with what the indicators can do and the information that it can give you guys and what it can teach you guys and maybe what to expect. And then when you start trading, this will be the kind of information that I think will make a huge difference for you guys. So that is done. The indicators are done. I may make small modifications here and there, and I will be adding a news feed to this so that we can actually have some fundamentals. So the one thing that's missing is fundamentals, okay? Uh, like you need to be aware that non-farm payroll is coming out or, something's happening, overseas or whatever. We need that information also. I will build that indicator into TradingView so that we have those fundamentals, okay? But once we have that, then it's just going to be about really fine tuning and maybe a few things here and there that we might add to enhance it. But right now, guys, the amount of data that this indicator gives AI, not this indicator, it's actually all of these indicators give AI. It's our volume up here, it's our profiles up here, and it's the indexes down here that are coming from a futures contracts, right? Uh, it gives AI enough information to really help. Now, it was telling me back here that the longs were building. I didn't take time to really read it, and I just said, "Oh, it's going to go long," and I predicted, potentially up. But what I forced AI to do today with the instruction set, because the old instruction set wasn't complete, I made sure that if the longs are coming in and they're accumulating and the bears are driving it down, that you understand that basically the bears are getting trapped, right? And the buyers are accumulating. Now, if the downs are trapping the buyers, that's a whole different signal. And so, yeah, there might be buy contracts coming in, but the institutional money is trapping those buyers and taking their money away from them. So, in those descriptions, in those, when you read about what the indicators are telling you, it is designed to give you that kind of language so that you know what's really going on inside the market versus just seeing the candle, seeing the volume, and trying to interpret it, right? It really is peeling back the onion and telling you as clear as it can based on the current data that it has what's going on. Okay? Super, super.
Doug, but what I want to say is how excited I am to use this tool as a training mechanism. I think I love the fact that you wrote in there, if you want the details, you want a printed book basically on these forecasts that we just walked through. Here it is. I just think it's absolutely brilliant.
Well, thank you. Well, it's one thing that AI said. It said, Doug, this is what makes JBean different than other indicator groups out there, that it actually is a teaching tool also. It actually will help people understand what they're doing. And it recognized it as a real difference between, what others do and what we're doing. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Now, Drew,
yeah, that's a good question. If there's no report coming out, So how is the S&P and the other markets going to react to a no report, right? If there's a news article on that, what the markets may think, then that'll feed into it. But if there is no report, there is nothing to react to in that way, other than there could be a negative reaction because there is no report, right? And so it'll look for, so when we're looking for news feeds, when it's reading all of the news around Bitcoin or crypto, if there's something about that, it will pick up on that, it will evaluate it, and it will score it. That score will be an evaluation based on it, what it thinks its impact will be in terms of social sentiment. It'll also go out and try to find social sentiment around that news report to kind of give it a weight also. Once it weights it, then that weight will become part of the calculation that it uses to decide the range. Okay, that's the way I built it.
I love it.
Okay.
I
All
love it.
right.
I'm
Well,
not seeing any other hands.
yeah. Well, guys, I truly hope that you're beginning to see, the tools and where we're going and what this is ultimately going to mean to not just you guys, but the market. There's going to be things here that people just can't get their hands on, at least in the way that we built it and laid it out.
Hey, Doug,
Go
I
ahead.
do have another question, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Are, are these indicators written, right now we're focused on Bitcoin.
They'll
Is
work
there
on
any
every coin.
bias in yeah, so there's no bias in any of the indicators for a
No,
particular coin.
no, because
Awesome.
the initial, once it fires up into say ADA or Ethereum or even, whatever coin you're going to trade, right? Ranges will be different, things like that will be different. So the indicators themselves will go through some self-learning where it's looking back and so the ranges won't be the same as Bitcoin. The ranges will be, and most of them be wider and more spread out, right? So, and those wider coins, the ones that move more, are harder to predict in terms of getting down below 1%, because they move more. So a coin that moves, say 20% a day, 1% of that is different than a coin that moves 2% a day and 1% of that.
Sure.
So yeah, they will adjust according to that coin because every indicator is built to analyze the movement of that coin.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Okay, are we good? Control?
Affirmative.
All right. And so I'm going to share my screen here. We've got yesterday's results up, and Icy was the winner yesterday on my birthday. Congratulations on that, Icy, again. And we're going to go to the, I got to refresh. There we go. I always forget that. So refreshing, and let's go down to the 29th, and let's hit go. BitCaz. Oh my God. Okay, Crypto Kid, BitCaz, Old Sailor, Icy, then Wisdom of Crowds coming in, Wannabe, Beanie of Truth, another Wisdom of Crowds, DDOG, Lovejoy, BitBoss, another Wisdom of Crowds, and Par Excellence. I think we're on the right path, guys. I'm super excited. Congratulations to our top three, BitCaz, the Crypto Kid, and Old Sailor, followed up by Icy on the bubble, as they say, in fourth. And, a great round of predicting. So, BitCaz, I'm going to give it back to you.
Wow.
Wow, what a night. Doug gave us an incredible demo of the new prediction tool, showing how it can merge all our indicators and even guide our AI towards sharper calls. Huge thanks to Doug the Wizard for that powerful walkthrough. We also took a quick peek at the leaderboard, and it's heating up as we head into the grand finale tomorrow. Congratulations to our Wednesday winners. You're setting the pace and raising the bar for the rest of the predictors. That wraps up day 3 of challenge number 12. Get ready because tomorrow's the big one. The grand finale is where it all comes together. I'll see you then, same time, same place, right here on JBeanTV, the Prediction Game Show.
That's a wrap from JBeanTV and the Prediction Arena. Keep predicting, keep climbing, and I'll see you next time.
They see what others can't. Your JBean NFT unlocks Wizard Doug's custom indicators built for precision and clarity. Own the key. Level up your trading. Prediction-nfts.jbeantv.com